As my guest today, I have Sofia Bentinck, CEO of Anchor Relocation Worldwide, also co-founder. A business founded in 2008 by two former British expatriates, Sofia here being one of them. They provide customized destination and immigration and visa services for corporate clients and individuals relocating to Mexico. Sofia, what would be your superpower?
Thank you, Madalena. I think my superpower would be optimism. I think that I'm very good at looking at certain situations and finding the way forward and kind of the positive take on those situations as well.
Excellent. What would be the main differentiator of Anchor Relocation Worldwide in this business?
Yeah, I think our why is really a big differentiator for us. We have a very personalized and high touch service. And I feel like that, well, if you're in destination services, it's because you love the business, right? And the industry and being able to help people and help them to understand more about the culture and the place that they're coming to, and to fall in love with that same country that we have. You know, from my perspective, obviously coming into a country which I wasn't from and kind of going through that experience myself, that's something that we really try very hard to translate into the services that we give. And so that personalized service, that's really born from a passion for people that we have, is what makes us, I think, different to our competition.
Super, Sofia. Imagine you're managing your clients' expectations. What would be the warnings that you give them before relocating to Mexico? What would be the main pitfalls that you warn them about?
Yeah, I think that Mexico, a lot of people imagine Mexico to be a certain way, and it can often be very different. You speak to different people and maybe they think about Mexico and they think about being on the beach somewhere lovely in the Riviera Maya, which exists and is there, and sombreros and tequila and things like that. But no, I think that one of the biggest topics that we like to talk about is having patience. So patience is really key in a Latin country. I think it goes for a lot of Latin countries, but also for Mexico. That patience, that things will not always happen the first time and not necessarily as expected. So you have to have that optimistic outlook, which I think helps, obviously, from my perspective, as I was saying earlier. That's one of my strong points, is helping, stay positive, as long as things are moving forward. But yeah, I would say that patience is really important. The real estate market is also something that we like to talk about a lot, because in Mexico, the real estate market is not regulated. So this trust that we have, the assignee with us or with the consultant on the ground is very, very important, because there are so many different things that can happen when doing something like a home search in an industry that is not regulated. So yeah, I think those would be the things that we would want to talk to our corporate clients about the most, and to our assignees before they come to help, lay the ground for a successful assignment ahead.
What is that thing that you had to learn the hard way? Was there ever anything that you wanted somebody to have told you before finding out on your own?
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. There are lots of things that you learn when you found your own company, especially in a country that isn't your own. I would say that to trust yourself. As an entrepreneur, there are so many things that you feel just in your gut, and you have that kind of instinct of the way forward and the path that you want to carve going forward. But I think that sometimes we can get a little bit caught up in the theory of how things should be done, and sometimes we go down that path and not listening to our instinct and the real why. I think if you're very clear on your why when going into business, then the rest kind of just works itself out. Previously, I've had a couple of experiences where I've maybe gone down a path which wasn't something I felt maybe wasn't right. And I went down that path anyway, only to find that actually my gut instinct from the beginning was the right one.
Sofia, the next question is, it should be receiving an entertaining answer. Can you share a story with us that's funny from the life of a relocation professional?
Oh, yes, we have many stories, and I've often said to the team that we should write a book someday of all the interesting things.
I think everybody in global mobility should write a book, honestly.
We should, yeah, all get together and write a book about the interesting and funny things that have happened, the amazing things that have happened as well. But No, there's always one that stands out for me. We actually had an assignee an expat who was obviously coming into Mexico. It's a tropical country, and so that you have bugs and insects and other creepy crawlies. And so he was convinced that his house was infested with cockroaches. And we were kind of, so we said, okay, well, if that's a problem, we've had the house fumigated, but let's see what the issue is. And so the next day we get this email with like an Excel spreadsheet with photographs of all of the different cockroaches that he had found. With like the scientific name and the amounts that he'd found and their location in the house. And it was literally just a few, one here, two there. But yeah, it's interesting to see how the perspective of others, people coming into the country who have never kind of lived that experience. Well, you'll always find a few, but it was entertaining to say the least.
He felt the need to put it into an Excel with photos.
Yes, an Excel spreadsheet with the photos, and not only that, but unless he was, like an expert on bugs and insects, then he would have had to look up the specific breed of cockroach,
the respective cockroach
that it was, yeah, with the scientific name that was in there. So we put that forward and did a bit of a report with that. But yeah, that was interesting to say the least.
Thank you for this story, Sofia. If you put a bumper sticker on your car, what would it say?
Yeah, I don't have any on my car. And that's an interesting question, Madalena, but I had to think about this one. And I would, at the moment, I think after 2020, my bumper sticker would say, "What are you grateful for?" I think that 2020 has shown us all just so much, I think it has kind of forced everybody to pause and reflect, to be kinder to one another, right? To be more understanding, which is a lot of we practice that a lot in our industry, I think. Obviously working with people who are moving around and who have different issues that are important for them, and being empathetic and understanding with those things. So I think that 2020 has shown us to stop and reflect and to be really grateful for. There are so many things we have to be grateful for, starting with our health, right? And then, our colleagues and all these different things that we've suddenly realized that were so important to us and that perhaps just passed us by in everyday life. So that little reflection of what we're grateful for would be something that I would stick on my car and hopefully have other people in traffic behind me thinking about that.
Thank you, Sofia, very much.
You're more than welcome, Madalena. Thank you.